try to channel my inner John Perry here for a second and come up with a little lawn care tune for you, so here we go. It's the most terrible time of the year. When the lawn it stops growing, there'll be no more mowing the lawn, that's all fear. It's the most terrible time of the year. That's all I've come up with so far. Maybe you didn't know you can use a leaf blower to speed up the natural process of fall. It does work. Well, what's up everyone? I've got about 5 days of rain ahead, or 4 to 5 days of rain coming here, so I gotta do some winterizing today. And it started with trying to clean up some of these leaves in my backyard. I've really never had big enough trees that I've had to do a whole lot of cleanup, and I still don't really have to do a whole lot of cleanup compared to some people in the area, but today I wanna try to get rid of some of these leaves, mulch them up a little bit, and probably put down my Winterizer fertilizer. I made a video about that not too long ago, but I will just kind of quickly explain today again what I'm using for my Winterizer, kind of the whole process and what's going on with that. First, we need to see today if I can mulch up some of these leaves, get rid of them in the backyard. Those mulched up leaves are actually going to be good for the soil if we can get them mulched up enough. You don't want a whole bunch of leaves just sitting on your yard over the winter season because it can really smother things. It's good to leave them there and mulch them if you can, but if you can't do that and you have like a pile that's, you know, this thick or a couple feet thick, then you're gonna have to pick some of them up first. But just try going over them with your mower and see what happens. And I set the deck a little bit higher on my mower first, kind of make sure that I can get over top of the piles, and then I lower it as I keep going to kind of mulch things up really well. On to the next thing here, which is the Winterizer fertilizer that I need to put down. And as I mentioned, I did a video on this not too long ago about kind of the ins and outs of winterizing a cool season lawn, why you want to do it, what you want to use. And so all the info is over there. I'll put a little card up here right now that will tell you about that video, and you can click that and check it out. But quickly, today is about the time frame when the grass is starting to slow down, and according to my forecast, it's looking like we're going to be in the 40s, and probably going forward, it's just going to be going lower and lower. So this is the time frame now when I want to put down that fertilizer, because I don't want to cause any growth on the yard. I want it to be when the yard is getting to the point where it's stopping all of its top growth, and that will kind of take that nitrogen energy into the root system and store that energy over the winter season, and we'll be ready for spring. So that'd be the general idea of it, putting down a nitrogen fertilizer right now that's fairly quick release. It's going to be absorbed into the root system now and taken up. And the reason that I'm doing it today too is that for most of you, you probably have all your watering equipment put away, or maybe if you have a sprinkler system, you've already had it blown out and you're not really able to water it in. A good thing to do is just check that forecast, see when you might be about to get some rain, and then get it down at that time frame. Now, if you can't do that, I still would try to suggest watering this in. If you can, you might have to pull out some hoses and just do a little bit of watering. It wouldn't need a lot. That would just be my suggestion for best case scenario. Hopefully you will get some rain in your area somewhere around this time frame, and you can at least get it watered in naturally if you can't do it any other way. Well, I'm certainly going to miss mowing until next season, that is definitely for sure. Walking on that little side yard area there, I wish you guys could kind of experience it in person. It actually has a very, very soft feel to it. It's hard to describe exactly, but I really love the feel of it, and especially real mowing over there, I will miss that for sure. But mowing in general, it is going to be a long winter here since we're starting in November already with cold temperatures. And normally we don't get things rolling until about April. And today also one more humic acid application for my backyard. I've only done one, I think I've only done one on the backyard this year. So a little bit more here while I put down this fertilizer, hopefully just to help the grass absorb a little bit more of this nutrient. One more time here before we get some rain, have this watered in. So I'm gonna put this out onto the yard now, and then it's supposed to rain here in a couple hours, otherwise overnight. So then that will water this into the soil level as well. So now we need to talk about the equipment here and what I like to do with my specific machines going into the winter season. So the first thing today is it happens to be raining outside, which is not a big deal because I'm going to be washing off the mowers anyway. Just a good idea to kind of spray them off when the motors are cold here. And it's something that I kind of neglect over time that I should be doing a little bit more of throughout the season, is kind of keeping things clean. Today I'm just going to do a quick wash on these things, and then we'll get to the rest of the process of winterizing. Next up on the list then is going to be putting some stabilizer into the tank, filling it up and letting that run through the system just briefly here. Kind of warm up the oil here as well before I'm going to do an oil change. So I like to just put some stabilizer in there and leave the tank full. There's a whole lot of people who disagree with that or agree or whatever the case may be, but it's how I've done it since I've had these mowers. I've never had a problem starting them up in the spring. So that's just my system. And it seems to work for me. So I just put the stabilizer in and run it through the system a little bit, and we're good to go. After we've run that through the system, now it's a little bit warmed up. I can get the oil out of it a little bit easier, so I actually just tip it over here and I take the oil out of it that way. That's pretty much how it works on the Time Master. And then also here, while we have this like this, I like to just clean out the underside of the deck, make sure all the grass and everything is out of there for the winter season, so when we get cranking in the spring, we're just ready to go right away. For the season, I switched over to fully synthetic oil for the Time Master and taking the oil out here. It's went through the whole season. Actually looks pretty good. Usually by the time I would get to this end of the year here with some just the regular oil that I was using, usually like an SAE 30, it was getting pretty dark and black by this point, but this stuff actually didn't look too bad when I took it out of here. So going to synthetic really isn't that much more expensive and seems to be working well for me. So fill your mower back up with oil. Actually need to get a little bit more synthetic and check your manual to make sure how much is supposed to go in there so you don't overfill or underfill. And of course you can check the dipstick as well as you start pouring in there. But it's a good idea to have a general idea of how much oil goes in there. Sincerely, I want to thank you for watching all of my videos this year. It has been an amazing year of growth, not only in our lawn care community as a whole, but on my personal channel as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'm extremely excited about the 2019 season already. I have so many ideas for things that I want to do, things to build our community here, build the channel, and help everyone to reach their lawn goals. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.